will be released in the coming weeks. Mitch McCann, New York.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. And welcome to a Monday. It's Christmas week. It's the 22nd day of December for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way. Well, all of your news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. And our plate is full here today. The Nebraska men's basketball team, they beat North Dakota last night. It wasn't easy for a while. In fact, Bison had to lead at halftime. Nebraska ended up shooting 63% in the second half and beat the Bison last night at PBA by a score of 78-55. Kind of the same story for the Nebraska women's basketball team. They got out to a slow start, but they erupted for 32 points in the fourth quarter yesterday to beat Cal Baptist at PBA by a score of 87-56. Both Husker teams are now 12-0 in the season. Hastings College women's basketball team will host Nebraska Wesleyan today at Lynn Farrell Arena. It'll be the first matchup between the two teams in 10 years. It'll be the final game for the Broncos before they head into their Christmas break. That'll be a 12 o'clock start today at Lynn Farrell Arena. We'll have the game here on Extreme Sports beginning at 11:45 this morning. Julian Ashoff scored a career-high 31 points and became UNK's all-time assist leader as the Lopers rolled South Dakota Mines 80-67 yesterday at the Health and Sports Center. We had the Heartland Hoops Holiday Classic on Saturday at Lynn Farrell Arena. One local team was involved. DC West knocked off the Adams Central basketball team by a score of 32-29. We'll get some comments coming up from Adams Central assistant boys coach and Sam Cook here during this hour. We'll check the rest of the results from Saturday. NFL stuff last night. The late game, Pittsburgh beat Detroit by the score of 29-24. And the college football playoffs, some surprises over the weekend. And we'll get you set for the quarterfinals coming up here later this month. There's more bowl action as we pull out the bowl sheet this morning. There's more bowl action today as we got the Potato Bowl out in Boise, Idaho. So other than that, there's not a whole lot going on. We'll get some comments from Fred Hoiberg. We'll get some comments from Amy Williams following their victories yesterday. Other than that, not a whole lot going on as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Were you delaying the inevitable? We're going to eventually have to tell the tale of the tape and read over last weekend's Blazing Five, and you were just reluctant to get to it, or how we sitting as we open up shop here?
Well,
from the weekend,
we didn't light the world on fire, but we weren't bad. No, I was 3-2.
Hey.
I was 3-2, so I had a winning week. In fact, we'll just put them up for everybody to see how we did. I was 3-2, so I'm now at 39-51 on the season. You were 2-3. You were 2-3, so you're at 55-35, still on top of our Blazing Five standings. IT guy, he was 1-3-1. So he comes up with a push for the first time this season in our threesome here. He is now 44-45-1. So not a great week for the Blazing Five, but it wasn't the worst week that we've had.
It's still sub-zero.
We're going to be, between you and me, we'll be right at the 500 mark. So,
what IT guy sinks it?
Yeah, so are we back to the Frozen Five?
No, and I was gonna pitch this name. It is not the Frozen Five this week. It's the Blazing Five Christmas edition. We're just rebranding it. It's the Blazing 5 Christmas edition.
All right, so since
it's still frozen, yes.
Since we're not working Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, we'll have our Blazing 5 this week. God, it's going to be tomorrow. We're going to have our Blazing 5 on tomorrow.
Quick turnaround.
How's that going to work? We're not going to have anything to go on.
Yeah, you are. Gut and intuition. What else do you need?
I mean, if there's anything that happens during the week, we're going to be privy to that information for our selections, but we'll do it. We'll have our Blazing 5 tomorrow morning at 7:30 because we're not going to work. We're not working Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. I got that cleared from the bookkeeper yesterday.
Let's go.
I thought you'd be happy with that.
I am happy with that.
Yeah, we're not going to work Wednesday,
I'm ecstatic with that.
Well, there's a lot of people in our industry.
It wouldn't have mattered.
They're not working this week at all.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy that I know of that's across town, he's not working for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I thought, after I heard that, I said, you know what, Mike and Tyson, we paid our dues over the years.
Yeah.
And we're not working Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday this week. So a lot of people will be off anyway.
Yep.
On Wednesday. So
next week, too.
All right, so that's the Blazing 5 from this week. Not a great week, but not the worst week ever. And we'll have our Blazing 5 again tomorrow morning at 7:30. Let's get to the college football playoffs, shall we?
Okay.
Over the weekend, Alabama beat Oklahoma in the first game, 34-24.
Mm-hmm.
I think you were on the Tide.
I was on the side.
Because you have a thing with Kalen DeBoer.
Man crush.
Man crush on Kalen DeBoer. Miami, they maybe pulled the surprise of the weekend. They beat Texas A&M on Saturday, 10-3.
Didn't look good.
Ole Miss rolled past Tulane, 41-10.
Got a little. I got smashed, to be honest with you.
On Tulane?
I got smashed on the Tulane Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you were all on the green wave.
Yep.
And they didn't play well against Ole Miss.
13 sheets to the wind on the Tulane Kool-Aid. That was a mistake.
41-10, Ole Miss wins that. And then Oregon, they beat James Madison, final score of 51-34. Oregon was blowing James Madison out.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that chalked up on my Blazing 5 as a loss.
Yes, you did.
And then here comes James Madison back. They get a couple of late touchdowns, and they cover the spread. It was a huge spread with Oregon, like 24.5 points.
Yeah.
And James Madison comes back, and they cover the spread. It gives me a Blazing 5 win as Oregon beats James Madison 51-34. So kudos to James Madison. Kind of pushed me over the top to a winning weekend. And those
Never give up.
No, those winning weekends for me have been far and in between.
Garbage time touchdown.
Oh, at least one, if not
Let's
two.
go.
So James Madison, they cover the spread, the big spread against Oregon, 51-34. So in the quarterfinals now on New Year's Eve, you're going to have Miami playing at Ohio State. And then on New Year's Day, Oregon will be at Texas Tech. Alabama is at Indiana. And Ole Miss is at Georgia. Which one of those games is the one that you're most anxious to see in the quarterfinals?
I think Bama, Indiana. And I think we roll it right back, right? All the doubters with Alabama just getting into the playoffs and being able to silence those doubters against Oklahoma. Obviously didn't have the best of starts. It looked like Oklahoma was going to just race them out of the water at the very beginning of that football game, and Alabama digs back, and there's, again, flashes where Alabama looks like a semifinal team to me. And Indiana, at this stage last year, is where they stubbed their toe. Getting a big win on the big stage. Yeah, you can go 15-0. You can go 12-0. Put a Heisman Trophy candidate in Bloomington. But can you win on the big stage when your moment and opportunity is presented? I don't know that Indiana can do that. So Alabama, to go back to the previous point, I thought Alabama against Oklahoma was the best game this weekend, and I think that continues as we move into next weekend. I'm looking forward to the Hoosiers and the Tide.
All right,
and I'm gonna be honest with you. As we sit right now, from what I watched this past weekend, I would be on the Tide again, 2 times in a row.
Wow. All right, so the next round, the quarterfinal round, going to be on the 31st and the 1st. Bowl action over the weekend in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. New Mexico beat Kennesaw State 42-6. And then in the Gasparilla Bowl, North Carolina State knocked off Memphis 31-17. Today, according to my bowl sheet, we've got the Potato Bowl in Boise, Idaho, as Washington State plays Utah State. Who do you got? Washington State or Utah State?
Cougars.
I don't know anything about either one of those two teams.
Cougars.
So the Potato Bowl. The Potato Bowl in Boise, Idaho. As today, and then there's, 3 games on tap tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have the Boca Raton Bowl between Louisville and Toledo. We're going to have the New Orleans Bowl between Western Kentucky and Southern Mississippi. And we're going to have that Frisco Bowl.
Not played in San Francisco.
No, not played in San Francisco like we thought it was last year. It's actually the Frisco Bowl down in Texas. It'll be Nevada, Las Vegas up against Ohio. So those are the bowl games in the next couple of days. Did you see who is in and who's out for Nebraska as we get ready to play out in the Las Vegas Bowl? The people who will not be playing for Nebraska include Emmett Johnson, running back for the Huskers, who declared for the draft. Caden Vermas, he's entered the transfer portal. Dylan Raiola, he won't play. He entered the transfer portal. Rocco Spindler, he declared for the NFL draft, so he won't play. Malcolm Hartzog, on defense, he declared for the transfer portal, so he won't be playing. Preston Okafor for Nebraska, he won't be playing. He's heading to the transfer portal. Then the Deshaun McCullough, he won't be playing either. He's out with a injury. So those guys will not be involved in the Las Vegas Bowl as of now. Of course, the coaches that won't be there either is John Butler, the defensive coordinator, who was axed. Mm-hmm. Donovan Raiola, the offensive line coach, he was axed. Terry Braden, the defensive line coach, he was axed. So all those guys are out. Who's in the bowl game? We're going to see some new coaches in Jeep Wade, the offensive line coach.
I like Jeep.
Rob Arick, the new defensive coordinator, he's going to be on hand. Roy Manning, who's a defensive coach, he's going to be on hand. Lonnie Teasley is going to be the run game coordinator in the Las Vegas Bowl. And of course, T.J. Lateef, he is in, the freshman quarterback for the Huskers, but he's coming off of a hamstring injury, so we'll see how he performs. So those are the in and outs for the Nebraska football team as they get ready to play Utah out there in that Las Vegas Bowl coming up on December the 31st.
Doesn't it drain your anticipation? Like when you take a look at all the names that are not participating, and this just, it has the feeling of, as I mentioned earlier, nothing more than like a red-white scrimmage,
a glorified scrimmage
in April. Yeah, and we're going down to Vegas to take on Utah in a scrimmage game.
Probably going to get our butts kicked. Probably going to get our butts kicked.
It doesn't matter. Like, whoop-de-doo. The bowl season, everything has changed. really, from the postseason anticipation perspective. Unless you're getting money in a bowl pool, which at this point is literally just throwing darts on a spinning globe and seeing what teams you should select based on the proximity to the darts to those campuses. That's about as much chance as you have to hit in some of these bowl games. Like, my give a damn is busted on bowl season. And hearing those names only solidifies that. Knowing that it's an entirely different coaching staff. Hell, we even saw it in the playoffs with Ole Miss and Tulane, and it was hard to get into that game. A, because I bet Tulane really hard, and you just don't know what team is going to show up. So, especially as we move into the bowl season, the postseason, going to hear obviously some comments on the postseason preparation. But let's put this in perspective. This isn't a game where if we lose to Utah on New Year's Eve, that I'm going to be depressed come New Year's Day. Like, I'm not going to lose sleep over, oh my God, we got to take that next step as a program and beat Utah. I'm not losing sleep on it, so.
All right.
It's just my feelings.
I think I might be on board with you. I did hear something over the weekend that was kind of flattering.
Do you hear what
get rid of the bowls, other than the college football playoff bowls, and move the bowls to the beginning of the season.
What now?
Well, a lot of those teams, like we had that game down at Arrowhead against Cincinnati, they talked about moving the bowls if we're going to continue, and there's a lot of money involved in some of this stuff, so you know how money talks. Move the bowls to the beginning of the season. Like when Nebraska played Cincinnati, that would have been a bowl game. And there's a lot of other teams that played in those early season, the late August, the first week in September. They played those neutral site games around the country and play the bowl games at the beginning of the season if we want to keep those things alive. Now, I thought that would be a workable solution. I'm with you. I think the bowls have lost a lot of luster here other than the bowls that are involved with the college football playoff. I kind of like that idea. Put the bowls at the beginning of the season for some of those neutral site games that people are playing in anyway. Now, your thoughts on that?
I don't hate it. If I was a senior, I'd be pretty pissed off. Like, if I was a senior on that team that gets that bowl invite after, to reward the hard work of the season and getting to take one last trip with the guys to whatever destination it is.
Yeah.
From the senior perspective, I would kind of throw a hissy fit, but I also got to play football for 4 years and
made a lot of money.
Made a lot of money now. So
maybe they're not looking forward to the bowls like they once.
Well, and that's
either.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
If you're not playing in the playoffs, your give a damn isn't there, and most players opt out anyway. So a good way to not opt out of the bowl game and bring back maybe that joy, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
We'll see where that goes.
Because we talked about it earlier with the non-conference, right? And how pivotal, or I should say, how the non-conference has lost a lot of its luster that it once have. Where because of the super conferences that have been created with Big Ten and SEC, right? 18 powerhouse top 25 teams, and you're going through the ringer in the conference schedule, and a lot of universities have said that this is why we're bringing in FCS schools. Why would we want to make it more challenging on ourselves to get to the college football playoff when winning a conference is going to do it in the first place?
Yeah, so Nebraska is not playing Tennessee like it
Right.
was on the books. We're going to bring in the FCS team. So,
and that's exactly why we went around Tennessee. That there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When we have to go through the Big Ten,
Yeah, there's no reason for us to play Tennessee.
Yeah, there is no reason to schedule powerhouses for non-con. So I think you'd have some athletic directors. But I like the idea. Speaking on the conference champions, I think that's kind of the big argument we have moving forward, isn't it, with the playoffs? Tulane and James Madison stunk. And the only reason they were in the playoffs was because of that special group of 5 best non-remaining conference champion, right? I think we can agree sometimes the playoffs is better without those guaranteed spots. Again, like the IT guy said earlier, it's just like the NFL where somebody from the NFC South is going to get into the playoffs. That reality exists, but I still think we can make it better. Ultimately, at the end of the day, again, I would like to see the best 16 teams in, period, and line them up and let them go, irregardless of conference affiliation. But
which means you would rather have, Notre Dame in?
Yeah, they stunk.
Yeah.
They did. You saw the games. Tulane and James Madison stunk.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been on the same field.
Yes.
So, yeah, maybe the college football playoff guys will get together. They tweaked it this year. They changed the seedings this year. Maybe they'll get together at the end of the year and say, you know what, I think Tyson might be right. Let's just put the best 16 teams in and let's just line them up and go. So we'll see what happens there. I want to put a help wanted sign up.
Uh-oh.
Help wanted, semi-experienced quarterback that can run a pro-style offense, needed for the final 2 weeks of the regular season. Your future past 2 weeks would be unknown. Please apply to the Kansas City front office staff for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Buddy.
We have a problem. Houston, we have got a problem. Patrick Mahomes out, ACL. Enter Gardner Minshew. Second quarter, first game, out, same injury, ACL, done for the year. And in comes the third string emergency quarterback for Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is his name? Chris Oladokun.
Okay.
He comes in. He's the third string emergency quarterback. He throws for 111 yards, sacked 4 times. The Chiefs lose yesterday to the Tennessee Titans. Doesn't make any difference. Chiefs are heading nowhere. They get beat by the Tennessee Titans yesterday. But we are down to our now third string emergency quarterback that even the TV guys had a tough time pulling out any information. They didn't know how to pronounce his name either.
Ouch.
So I don't think we have another quarterback on the roster that I know of. So the Chiefs, they have 2 games left. One of them is against Denver on the Christmas day.
That'd be fun.
It looked good. It looked good just a couple of weeks ago. The Chiefs in Denver on Christmas Day. It doesn't look so good now. Chiefs are out, and hell, we don't even have a quarterback.
And you just lost to the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, we just lost to the Tennessee Titans, so there's not a lot of pop. You know what? I didn't even see the game yesterday.
Oh, my.
Yeah, first time that I can remember, I didn't actually see the Chiefs play. I caved in, went with a wife Christmas shopping yesterday. I listened to it a little bit on the radio going to in and out of stores, but I didn't see one single play of the Kansas City Chiefs game. In fact, I had to check some text messages that I got throughout today to even know that Gardner Minshew was injured. So anyway, Chiefs need a quarter. I don't know what they'll do. You can't.
Bill Chiefs offered a suggestion. Chief says you should go after Adrian Martinez.
Well, you would think that would be a possibility. I don't know. You've got to have
Kansas State.
You got to have somebody behind this guy that nobody can pronounce his name. And what happens if he gets hurt on Christmas Day? We still got another game to play.
Is Adrian Martinez still on the 49ers staff, technically?
I think he is.
Like, you'd have to trade him and get him.
Yeah, there'd have to be some kind of a transaction. But the Chiefs have got to do something, don't they? With 2 games left to go?
I guess.
Naturally, those guys are going to come back, but now you got your top 2. Gardner Minshew is going to be a free agent at the end of this year, so his career with Kansas City is probably over. They'll probably move on from him. Patrick's going to come back next year, but it's not guaranteed that he is going to be ready to go by the first week. He might miss a couple of games at the beginning of next year with his injury. Now, you don't have anybody on the roster anymore, and we need somebody now. Not wait until the offseason and sign a Joe Flacco or somebody like that to maybe bridge the gap. Now the Chiefs need a quarterback now. Like, you're making calls this morning to bring in somebody to at least fill a void for the Chiefs for the next 2 weeks. They've got the Broncos on Christmas Day. They'll wrap up their season with the Raiders and 2 meaningless games for Kansas City. But, God, you got to have a quarterback. You don't go out and sign somebody for a couple of weeks, do you?
I'm just, like, do you go to get a Teddy Bridgewater?
That might be sitting on the couch eating bonbons.
That may or may not be able to pass an NFL physical anymore, but...
Yeah. I'll be interested in seeing what happens. It's got to happen today because we play on Christmas Day. And that's the other thing. You have a short week to get this guy ready for Christmas Day. He hasn't played. He's taken like 1 snap in his Chiefs career, and that was last year, final game of the year in a mop-up duty. So, yeah, if you're the head office of Kansas City, what do you do today? Somebody on the practice squad of somebody's team that might want a chance to raise some eyebrows in the final 2 games of the season with a team that's struggling at best anyway?
Could be fun to watch if they, like, give Adrian a call. I'm just playing hypothetical here.
Yeah, we went through this.
Call a guy like Adrian Martinez up to just,
run the damn ball.
Really, that's all you're going to have to do.
Yeah, take the snap and just run the damn ball. We don't care if you can throw it. We can't catch it anyway.
Get your pop from across the border. You get your pop from the Kansas State side of things.
Yeah, maybe create a little bit of excitement. Today could be the day that the Kansas City Chiefs announce they're moving over across the river. That's still out there for today. So Chiefs could be in the headlines quite a bit today for one thing or another. But I'll be anxious to see what they do. You can't go into the final 2 weeks of the season with 1 quarterback when we've lost 2 in 2 weeks. You got to have somebody. I don't care who it is. You got to have somebody on your roster to take a snap.
How did the Kansas City Chiefs get mathematically eliminated from playoff contention and still find ways to, on Monday morning, dominate the headlines in the NFL?
Because I'm stupid. I just spent 6 minutes talking about the Kansas City Chiefs.
I didn't say that. But you look at some of the other sports talk shows. Kansas City is dominating the discussion because they're all asking the same thing.
Yeah, it's the first time we've lost 4 games in a row in quite some time. Chiefs just look miserable.
Mm-hmm.
They just look like they can't wait until they throw their cleats in the locker for the last time this year and get on with the offseason. But we got 2 games to go against 2 of our biggest rivals in Denver and the Raiders. We should be pumped up, but we're not. I could care less. I could care less if I see those last 2 games or not. Especially with it might be a high school quarterback that we find someplace. Well, we brought back Phillip Rivers to the Colts. We're going to see him tonight against San Francisco. What's Joe Montana doing?
This is all part of the process, everybody. Just let him grieve.
Well, what's Joe Montana doing?
Let him go. It's all part of the process.
What's Steve Bono doing?
Oh, no, Bono.
Oh, no, Bono. What's Joe Montana doing? Call him up. He knows the offense. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. I'll just get that off my chest right now because we're blowing through this half hour, and I got so much shit to talk about. And we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. God. Anyway, you're listening to Mike and Tyson. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. If you'd like to chime in, you can. Give us a call, 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. If you got some thoughts, on maybe what the Chiefs are doing in their front office today, or you'd like to leave us a message on our social media sites, we'll get to those as well. Waking Up with Mike and Tyson. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:30.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Nebraska's proposed Perkins County Canal is facing growing legal challenge and regulatory uncertainty. The state wants to build a canal to bring water from the South Platte River in Colorado into Nebraska, but efforts are now entering their fifth year amid disputes with Colorado and questions about federal court involvement. Nebraska has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to take up its case, claiming Colorado is violating a century-old water compact that allows the canal's construction. Colorado, meanwhile, argues that Nebraska has not completed the necessary permits and says the case is premature. The Nebraska legislature has set aside more than $600 million for the project, and experts disagree on whether the Supreme Court will hear the dispute. Meanwhile, Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen has publicly endorsed the Union Pacific's proposed merger from Norfolk Southern. The companies have filed for approval with the Transportation Board, which will review competition, safety, and public interest issues. Union Pacific predicts that the merger would boost efficiency, reduce transit times, and add jobs. However, the deal has drawn opposition from major labor unions and some industry critics concerned about safety, job security, and higher costs. It is coming up on 7:32. We'll spin things over to you. Mike, Will, what's going on with sports?
Are you feeling all right?
What's that?
It sounds like you got drainage.
Oh, yeah.
You got drainage today of some sort.
I mean, no, we're working through it.
All right. In sports, the Nebraska men's basketball team beat North Dakota 78-55 last night at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The Bison actually led 26-24 at halftime, but Nebraska hit 63% of their shots in the second half and outscored North Dakota 54-29 after intermission. Burke recorded a triple-double for the Huskers, only the fourth one in the program's history. He finished with 12 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Braden Frager posted a game-high 17 points for the Huskers. Nebraska now 12-0 in the season. They'll be off until December 30th when they play host to New Hampshire. Tip-off of that game will be at 8 o'clock on BTN. The Nebraska women's basketball team erupted for 32 points in the fourth quarter to turn a close game into an 87-56 win over Cal Baptist on Sunday at PBA. Jessica Petrie scored 10 of her game-high 17 points in the second half as Nebraska outscored the Lancers 49-21 over the final 20 minutes of the game. Nebraska is also 12-0 in the season and will be off until Monday, December 29th, when they play host to nationally ranked USC. Tip-off of that game will be at 2. Hastings College women's basketball team will host Nebraska Wesleyan today at Lynn Farrell Arena. It's the first matchup between the two teams in 10 years. The Broncos lead the all-time series 18-2 and have won the last 10 games in the series. In fact, the last win for the Prairie Wolves was during the 2010-2011 season. Hastings is 9-4 on the season. Wesleyan is 3-7. Tip-off for the game will be at noon today, and we'll have the contest here on Extreme Sports beginning with a pregame show at 11:45 this morning. That's a check on your sports headlines, 7:34 on Extreme Sports.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. 63 today under mainly clear skies, southwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. 35 tonight, mainly clear. 58 tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Upper 50s Wednesday, warmer on Thursday with highs in the low 60s. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frobley. Currently, it's 32.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
Again, welcome to Extreme Sports. This is Huddle Up. Mike Will, Tyson Avronic with you on this Monday morning, Christmas week. Again, we'll be here today and tomorrow, taking off for the holidays on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll have your Blazing Five coming up tomorrow morning at 7:30. A couple of people chiming in on our social media sites concerning the Chiefs' problems with their quarterbacks. IT guy says bring in Kirk Cousins during the offseason. That's all right. I think, obviously, Kansas City is going to have some quarterbacks in their room by next year. I'm thinking about immediate. What are we going to do immediately? Top 2 quarterbacks on the shelf with knee injuries, and we've got this emergency third stringer that's going to take us through the next 2 games to wrap up the year. I'm looking for backup help immediately. I mean, like today. Like if you're sitting on your couch and you've got NFL quarterback experience, make sure your phone is handy. The Chiefs could be calling you for an emergency backup to get them through the rest of the season. Anyway, the Nebraska basketball team, they beat North Dakota last night, 78-55 at PBA. It was close for the first half, 28-26. North Dakota had the lead over Nebraska before the Huskers hit 63% of their field goals in the second half, outscored North Dakota 54-29 after halftime. Husker head coach Fred Hoiberg says his team obviously played better in the second half.
Yeah, I give North Dakota a lot of credit for their game plan. They put a smaller guy and had him get up underneath rink, and I thought we just stood around and, ball faked, and that thing never got shifted side to side. Now, that being said, I did think we had some decent looks. If those are going in, those are great ones to take. But, as the half went on, I thought we took some contested ones settled, and we just didn't ever get the ball in the paint. And, that's a credit to North Dakota and what they did. Team played with confidence after what they did with their win against Winthrop in their last game. We know how good they are with our game earlier in the season. So, we knew coming in this was going to be a tough one, but, really challenged our guys in the second half to get back. All they had to do was get back to playing Husker basketball. And, we get to, I think we shot 63% in the second half after shooting under 30 in the first, and that was all due to our movement. I thought BK, as the playmaker, was unbelievable. He got a couple tip-ins for us that really got us going. And I thought our cutting was elite in the second half. And that's who we are. I love the 22 assists to the 6 turnovers, 22 assists on 28 baskets. But, our energy was better defensively. That's just, it's how this game works a lot of times. When the ball's not going in, it affects your defensive energy. We're not getting deflections in the first half, and everything picked up there in the second. So, good win for us. This is always a tricky one, the getaway game. But proud of how the guys responded in the second half.
Yeah, Burke, he had a triple-double for the Huskers, only the fourth one in the program's history, as he finished with 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists in the ballgame.
It was the movement. The guys were cutting off. We made an adjustment in the second half, and we put Burke kind of as the trail and put Rink in the screening just because they were playing off of BK, and we felt that would loosen things up a little bit, and it paid off for us. It was, guys went out there. Rink played a position, and he's not really used to playing. Braden, I thought, really did a good job cutting. I thought Sam had some nice cuts there at the end. Kale had a good slash to the basket off of BK's post-up. And that's what it was all about. Burke, yes, he got the 10 assists, but, our guys did a really good job of moving and cutting to the basket.
And the coach says the Huskers got to the paint in the second half.
I didn't go in there and raise hell with them at halftime. There are nights when you do that. It was more of just get back to being who we are. And, we showed them several examples, clips on our halftime edit. And, that first possession, we get a layup. Just with movement, and that carried over throughout the entire half. We did a good job getting to the free throw line in the second half as well. But, yeah, that first half, that's not who we are. And, again, they were in there. They were packing it. When the ball wasn't going in, they stayed with it. If we make a couple of those, now that's going to loosen them up and get hopefully get us going a little bit more into the paint. But, I thought, again, with making the adjustment of having Burke more as the playmaker and Rink put him more in the action, I thought that helped loosen things up.
So the Huskers finished their first part of their schedule 12-0. They're now on the Christmas break as the coach sends them off.
You can't go on the couch and sit around and eat bonbons, which nobody knows what the hell a bonbon is anymore. But, they got to go back, and we've got a program for them at least 2 of the days. Tomorrow they need to take off, and they get 2 days of conditioning, and then they need to feel the ball and see it go in the basket. Because we got another team that's, they had St. Louis down at halftime and, played them pretty close to a single-digit game. So this team has played good stretches of basketball in New Hampshire that we play in the 30th, and if everybody goes home and just sits around and, drinks beer, it's going to be, it could get ugly. So, again, this is a mature group. I think they're going to bounce back. They'll be excited to get back. I told them, enjoy your families. You deserve it. You guys deserve to go and have a great break, catch your breath a little bit, but we got a hell of a stretch coming up when they get back. So we're going to reconvene on the night of the 26th, just get them going, probably a non-contact practice, thinking about going twice on the 27th, and putting the game plan in on the 28th. So, big stretch for us here, but, these guys deserve to enjoy their time away with their families.
Yeah, we're getting some comments from Fred Hoiberg following their win last night over North Dakota. The coach says despite the Huskers' 12-0 start, there's still plenty of work to do.
Wanted to see us really improve on the glass, and I thought we did a good job of that tonight. This team out-rebounded. They had 15 offensive rebounds against Winthrop. Winthrop out-rebounded us by 8 or 10, and we wanted to do a better job playing with physicality. That was a big emphasis in practice all week. We did a lot of live rebounding drills and toughness drills, and I did think that carried over. Our defense did, I didn't love our activity with our hands, but they only shot 31% in the first half. That kept us in it when the ball wasn't going in for us. And then, second half, I thought we kept our defensive energy up. So, rebounding is going to continue to be a big key for us. When we win the glass, we're generally in good shape. Starting with the game in the 30th, and then certainly with Michigan State coming in here, one of the most physical teams in the country. So that's going to be a big thing. We got to continue to do a good job emphasizing it. Our guys have to go out and execute.
And the coach says his team knows how to handle adversity.
They've been a very mature group, and they've handled adversity really well. And we're going to have to continue on with that. Obviously, it's going to smack us in the face every night. And I'm really pleased. You can put them in those adverse situations in practice, but you really, truly don't know until you see it in a game. And our guys have handled it really well. And if we continue to do that, we'll have a chance to win most nights we step on the floor. So, yes, I'm pleased with that and happy with how they turn things around tonight.
All right, so the Huskers going to 12-0 in this season. They beat North Dakota last night by a score of 78-55. The Nebraska women, they're also 12-0. They beat Cal Baptist in the first game yesterday. Final score of 87-56. Tight ball game until about the fourth quarter when the Huskers erupted for 31 points, actually 32 points in that fourth and final quarter. Husker head coach Amy Williams says she was happy with the win.
We're feeling really blessed right now heading into the holiday season and still undefeated with a group that I just have so much fun coaching. And obviously today's game, there were some challenges that Cal Baptist presented, and we knew that coming in. I thought they played really inspired and hard, and it took us a while, but that fourth quarter we finally were able to kind of get over the hump and slam the door, and just a really good win and a really good finish to a non-conference season that we're really proud of.
And Amy says she learned a lot from the non-conference portion of their schedule.
What I've learned is that we can turn a lot of different places when we when we need production. And, I thought Amaya Hargrove was outstanding in the first half today when we were a little anemic outside of that offensively, but I thought she really sparked us, had 13 first half points and 6 first half rebounds, and I thought just really crashed the offensive glass, gave us some second chances, got herself to the free throw line, did the things that you need to do when you need a kind of a spark. And there's times where it's been Jess Petrie. There's been times where it's Logan Nisley. I thought Logan hit some huge shots today that kind of gave us that little cushion and that confidence that we needed. And Logan's had quarters where she had 11 points in one quarter. And, I think Britt Prince, carries our teams at times, but it's, we can turn to a lot of different places to get production. And that's something that we're excited for as we head into Big Ten play.
And Amy says her offense concentrated on getting paint touches in the ball game against Cal Baptist.
We had a very specific goal for paint touches in this ball game, and it kind of, I thought maybe we were pressing a little bit once we knew they got into a little bit of foul trouble in the first half in their forward position, and so I thought then we were kind of trying to maybe force that a little bit with a little less movement offensively to try to get to those paint touches. And I thought they were pretty aggressive about showing some double teams and help down in there. And when we finally kind of settled in, made them work a little bit, got pretty good pace in that fourth quarter, then the second half, our paint touches goal was a lot more close to what we were looking for.
All right, that's Husker head coach Amy Williams. So Fred Hoiberg, Amy Williams, all smiles as they head to the Christmas break, and the Huskers will get back on the floor following Christmas early next week. So good start for the Huskers. Both of them are 12-0 in the season.
There we go. I had to reach over to get the mic unmuted. Great start. Getting into the full swing on conference play. I think, the women are going to have a lot of answers and find out a lot about themselves when we get that big contest coming up against USC. And I think, same for Nebraska. We're coming back and we're going to get a nice little break here, but then it's right back to work. And lo and behold, you just draw Tom Izzo out of the chute to welcome you back from the holidays. So we're going to find out who we are in pretty quick fashion. I think that obviously there's a lot of buzz anytime that you're throwing yourself in the top 16 in these early season polls. But, we haven't been technically here this far up the rankings, but we've had excitement that's been generated in non-conference before, only to stub a couple toes, and next thing you know, you're snowballing, and lo and behold, you had a month in January where you forgot to even show up on the court, and you dropped 7 games. So I think every kind of basketball fan, Husker fan that's tried to get behind Husker basketball before knows the feeling. And can sympathize with that, so it's still kind of maybe cautious a little bit. But, yeah, exciting offseason, all things trending in the right direction for Nebraska basketball.
All right, high school-wise, we had the Heartland Hoops Holiday Classic on Saturday at Lynn Farrell Arena. DC West beat Adams Central 32-29. The other games, Fullerton over Silver Lake 58-37. Boyd County ran past Osceola 64-36. Utan got by McCool Junction 58-42. Elm Creek beat Central City 78-61. McCook defeated Grand Island 72-40. Donovan Trumbull over Bridgeport 61-38. And Grand Island Central Catholic defeated Amherst 58-33. We had the DC West Adams Central game for you Saturday night here on Extreme Sports. And Adams Central assistant coach Sam Cook joined me on the postgame show. Coach, quite a ball game here tonight. A tough one with DC West.
Yeah, and they're a good team, and a ton of credit to them because they make it tough on you. And bad first quarter. We can't. I think we had 7 turnovers maybe in the first quarter. Shot one shot in the lane, I think, and didn't score. So that didn't get off to the best start. But a ton of credit to them for how they played.
Talking about the first quarter. 0 of 7 from the field,
yeah.
0 of 6 from three-point territory, and like I said, had 4 or 5 turnovers in that first half. Was it the surroundings, tough to get used to this place, or just something that they were doing maybe on defense?
Well, I don't want to take away anything from them. They are a good team. They're one of probably the best teams in C1, and they're ranked team, and so they've got, I think they play solid 7 seniors, so they're a good. Discipline and defensive group, and so I don't want to take any credit away from them. They played really well defensively. We didn't get shots to fall, and I think we had some shots in the first quarter that we got throughout the game, and we might have made later. And so I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from them, but they just didn't fall in the first quarter. But they, again, to give them a lot of credit, they play good defense. They're well coached. They got 7 seniors that play, and so that's a big advantage,
Then you come out in the second quarter, went on a run yourself. I think you rounded off 11 points in a row in the second quarter. Did you guys change anything offensively, or those shots that started to go down?
Yeah. Hunter got going. He made some shots, which helped us kind of get going and start us on a run. I think we were a little more confident when that was happening. We switched our defense up a little bit. Switched to the other zone, and that kind of threw them maybe off guard a little bit. We haven't played it a ton, but that maybe kind of threw them off kilter a little bit, and we got some things out of that too. So that helped. But yeah, it's basketball's a game of runs sometimes, and sometimes it's on their run, and sometimes it's on our run, and it's more about controlling their runs and trying to extend your own. And so we just came up a little bit short. So.
And we're talking with Sam Cook, the assistant coach for the Patriots, following the loss tonight to DC West 32-29. It was 19-14 at halftime. Coach, you guys trailed by 5, but you had to feel, pretty fortunate to be down by only 5 points at halftime.
Yeah, we did, and that's a lot of that's because of our first quarter. We weren't exactly pleased, obviously, with it, and a lot of it is because we didn't get many shots in the lane, and we thought we should maybe try to get some more touches in the lane, and so we came out with that in mind, and we did, and we saw Hunter commands a double, and so we saw some doubles, and he shares it well out of that, and he, like I said, he got going in that second quarter. But yeah, and then I think coming out of halftime, it was just we found a way to kind of hang around and stay with it, and that was basically the story of the game, was just claw back. And we talk a lot about just winning the 4-minute games, or, break up the game into small games and just win the small games. And a lot of the time that translates to you're at least in the game, hopefully, if you do that. So that was kind of our message, was just win the 4-minute games and just keep clawing back and, try to control it that way.
Wasn't a lot of possessions of the ball game, so we head down to the wire here. You had to value each and every possession, did you?
Yeah, and there was a tough last minute 52 to 12 to minute 52 to minute 30 something. I think they went three straight shots where we might have fouled them, or I guess all in the same possession, but we had 3 straight fouls, and that reset the shot clock. So down the stretch, that was tough just because possessions were limited, and then we got basically one look at it here at the end. And it wasn't a bad look necessarily. We thought we had a decent look, and kind of the ball got bounced around. We got kind of jumbled up, but yeah, I mean it was a tough game, but they're a tough team, and we knew coming into the game that we were going to have to play well to beat them, and yeah, so we just got to go back to the drawing board, try to figure some things out, and keep with it.
I think in that possession as well, a couple of free throws. I think you gave up an offensive rebound on a missed free throw. So that kept resetting the shot clock. So you only had, 4.6 seconds to work here at the end, and you got the half-court shot that bounces off of the rim with JJ. Was that the shot you were looking for?
Well, we were thinking about maybe going to more of a long-distance throw, and so we had our quarterback take it out, and it went right back to him, and he took the shot, and it looked really good. Got halfway down, kind of rolled out, but yeah, we didn't know if we were gonna expect them to foul us because they had some fouls to give. So we thought, trying to play the chess match a little bit between coaching and just try to figure out what was going to come next, but. Yeah, had a good look at the end. Just kind of came up a little short. So
I know you can't probably say much about Hunter, but a lot of concern for Hunter. You had to play the fourth quarter without him, in the last couple of minutes of the third quarter without him, and that's when Cohen Rader kind of stepped up for you.
Well, and I can't say much about the injury, but I can say a ton about just the kind of kid he is, and so that's the heartbreaking side of it. Is whether he's out for a day or I don't know what it's going to be. I mean, I don't know if it's long term or short term. It didn't look good. But he's a fantastic kid, and he puts in a ton of time, and so I can't say enough about him in that regard that, he's going to have to go through some tough things here, and so, that's hard. That's going to be hard on him, and it's going to be hard on us for a group, and he's a big part of our group, but he's also he's resilient, and he's tough, and he puts in a ton of time, and so as far as the player he is, he's a great player, but he's a fantastic kid. So heart goes out for him, praying for him. Just obviously we don't know a lot right now, but I think we just got to keep sticking together and grinding.
All right, 4-2 heading into the Christmas break. You played a ton of games, a lot of tough games, and now you get a few days off and get ready for a holiday tournament, which is usually a grinder in its own right up at Boone Central.
Yeah, it is, and going to Albion. So, and I don't know the seating at the moment. I guess I don't even know, but it doesn't really matter. It's just basketball. So you got to get up there and you got to play whoever you play. And we went up there last year and didn't perform the way we wanted to perform in game one, and so we got to be more prepared now and, show what we can do, hopefully. So.
All right, that is Sam Cook for Adams Central, the boys basketball team, after they lost to D.C. West in the Heartland Hoops Holiday Classic on Saturday at Lynn Farrell Arena, 32-29. As I mentioned during the interview, Hunter Nepple injured late in the third quarter, did not play the rest of the ball game. It looked like a left knee injury, and status of his rest of the season is unknown at this time. Hopefully we'll hear more today, but that would be a huge blow for the Adams Central boys basketball team. Hunter Nepple averaging right at 24 points and about 10 rebounds per game, and certainly if he can't play for the rest of the season, that would be a huge loss for the Patriots, but we'll see what happens here as maybe get a word or two this week on the condition of Hunter Nepple.
Yeah, that would, from what his abilities and what he has the ability to do with just that size, and not only the size inside, but he can also shoot, and he can shoot deep. He's just such a huge weapon for that Adams Central basketball team. I mean, we go from last week talking about potentially breaking the school record to hoping he can finish the season and hoping he can get healthy, and that's part of the game that you have to hold your breath is with the health of some of these athletes, and sometimes you're kind of an injury away from being a completely different team. So we certainly hope for the best for him.
All right, 7:58, waking up with Mike and Seinson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
Need a Christmas gift that'll actually get a smile and taste better than socks? Give them a Let Vista gift card available at the winery. Hey, beginning January, our winter hours are Saturday only, 11:30 through 9 p.m.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
All right, Mike Wilentine, Center Bronick. It's a Monday, Christmas week this week. We'll get together again. We'll get together again tomorrow morning at 7, and we'll take off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Boy, what are we going to do? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Enjoy the holidays.
And then we'll be back Monday and Tuesday next week.
Mm-hmm.
I like this time of the year.
And enjoy more holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy more holidays next week. A lot of people are doing that. If you got business to conduct this week, you might want to call ahead to see if your particular business that you're going to is going to be open.
Mm-hmm.
People shutting down early on Wednesday for Christmas Eve, so keep that in mind.
A couple news and notes that I wanted to pass along today. Yeah. Congratulations to Texas A&M volleyball, sweeping in the national title over Kentucky. And as much as I hate Trev Alberts and moving over to Texas A&M, they were the most impressive. And you went through the gauntlet that was Nebraska, turned around, had to play the player of the year in Pittsburgh, and then arguably who I thought was the second best team in the nation the entire year behind Nebraska and Kentucky. And you did it in sweeps with Pittsburgh and Kentucky. They're the rightful national champions, so congratulations to the Texas A&M Aggies. Also, on the baseball standpoint, Wilson Contreras has been traded by the St. Louis Cardinals to the Boston Red Sox. The Cardinals get some pitching, which is always a good thing. And to be honest, there's like 8,000 catchers in the Cardinals catcher room. So I thought it was a weird deal when we first got him from the Cubs. Obviously, the whole deal was to get some stability back behind the backstop. You lose legendary Yadier Molina, and you want to continue that legacy behind the backstop. So you bring in a guy like Contreras. I thought it was weird getting him from Chicago, and I'm okay. He was aging, getting up there in years. Productivity was on the decline, so got some arms out of the deal. Can't go wrong there.
All right. Again, if you'd like to listen to the show again, you can just download the podcast in one of our social media sites. You can listen to the show again. Our comments we had with Fred Hoiberg, Amy Williams, the interview from Sam Cook from Adams Central, everything else that we talked about in the first half hour of the show. You can listen to the show again with the podcast. We'll be back again tomorrow morning at 7 with Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. I have got early basketball today. The Hastings College women will play Nebraska Wesleyan at noon today at Lynn Farrell Arena. We'll be on there at 11:45 for the pregame show today, so we invite you to join us for college basketball today here on Extreme Sports.
Flashback.
Yeah. We haven't played them like for 10 years. So Nebraska Wesleyan and Hastings playing women's basketball beginning at noon today. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports. That'll wrap things up. Enjoy your day. We'll see you again tomorrow here on Huddle Up.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until